weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guests on the Zoom today, Mrs. Cheryl Warner is the superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools. Good morning, Mrs. Warner. Good to see you. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm great. Good morning. We just came back from spring break, so we're all a little refreshed. Here we are in the last quarter of the school year. It's kind of crazy, but
oh man,
yeah.
It is crazy. It flew by for sure. And Israel Ramirez is a student with the Central Illinois CEO program on the Zoom with us today. Israel, good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Good to hear. Hey, I'll tell you what, Israel, I know that we're getting into the time of the year where CEO is diving into individual business time, having to put all that together for folks at home. Remind us what the individual business process is like, and what are you doing for that this year?
Yeah, so it all started with ideation. We started back in December, trying to think about like what we want to do, a product or a service, stuff like that. But then we kind of put down the back burner while we finished our group business. But now we're getting back into it. Most of us have launched our businesses now. We've gone through the process of banker day, mock banker day, trying to ask for those grants, building up those skills to be able to ask people for money eventually when we're older.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, some of us have launched. I've launched my business a couple weeks ago. It's called Forerunner Christian Clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it on Instagram, where you can get a link to our online shop.
Nice. That's cool. So what kind of clothing are you offering?
So it's mostly graphic design t-shirts and sweatshirts with Bible verses on the back, stories like graphic designs
that's
made from those Bible verses.
Mm-hmm.
Just try to put the word out there, really.
Yeah. What prompted this? What was your thought behind starting a business like this?
Yeah, so I was born Catholic, so I always knew about God, but I didn't really know of who he was till about like last year when I started taking it more seriously. And I just wanted somewhere, a way to get that word out, share what I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that came from.
Nice. So will these be designs that you have come up with, or like if someone has a Bible verse that's near and dear to them, can they reach out to you and have that designed? What does that look like?
So all the designs are pre-made. So most of them come from sermons when I hear at church. So I'm like, wow, that sounds really inspirational, or I could make a really good message out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll kind of in my head imagine what that Bible verse looks like in my head,
mm-hmm.
and then I'll put it onto paper, and then I'll have an explanation with it as well, so people understand what it is. As of right now, we haven't exactly branched out into customization,
mm-hmm.
but depending on how things go, that might be something I go into.
So what kind, like, is it just t-shirts, or is it like long sleeve shirts, zip ups? You know, what's the variety of clothing options there?
Right now we have mostly just t-shirts and sweatshirts. We have a couple of shorts and one pair of sweatpants right now,
nice.
All in the online shop.
That's cool. Awesome. Very good.
Yep.
How's that going for you? Are you getting much traction?
It's been going pretty good. I think the main problem, I've got a couple sales, but right now I'm just trying to get the word out there. You know, people can't buy what you sell if they don't know what you're selling. So that's the main goal right now.
Yeah. So how are you putting the word out there?
Well, this for one, but I have an Instagram account and I'm trying to put as much content as I can on there. Not really so much focused on the clothes right now, but so much on getting a following, like spreading the word and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
to eventually push people towards the clothes.
So how do folks find your Instagram account, Israel?
It's at Forerunner Christian Clothing, all one word.
Like
and then
we also have the number 4 or 4 FOR?
FORE Runner.
Forerunner. Oh, yeah, sure. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. So check Israel out on Instagram. Do you have much product available right now, or are you still in the development stage there as well?
We've got 2 designs that are based off scripture, and then one that is kind of our core values, like that I want with the business, kind of what a forerunner is, describing it as well. And then one which I just thought was a cool idea is called the Redeem sweatshirt, Redeem design.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a design that has a bunch of different Bible verses on it from where it tells us that Jesus redeemed us and he came down and saved us.
Sure. With Easter coming up, this will probably be a really busy time for you, I venture a guess.
Yeah, we're hoping for it. We're hoping to push as much content as we can,
Sure.
get the word out.
Yeah, yeah. So what have you, Israel, learned along the way in this journey? What have you learned about starting your own business, about maintaining a business? What are some of the lessons you've taken away in this process?
I think one of the big ones is staying organized, staying on top of things, making sure, everything is where it needs to be and it's nice and tidy. Because with a lot of things, with school, sports, and a job, a lot of stuff can get forgotten, or a lot of stuff can just seem like it's not that important because it's so far away. But staying organized and make sure you're doing what you say you're about to do, it's really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, definitely. What have you what has surprised you about starting your own business? Was there an aspect of this process, or was there something where like you just never would have correlated starting a business to a lesson you've taken away? How about that?
Um, Probably how disposed people are to help you. As a younger person, it's you think of the world and you're like, well, I have to ask for all this. Like, what if people say no, or what are they gonna say and stuff like that. But something I've learned is that you ask anybody and they're just supposed to help you where they can. Like Miss Warner, asking her for any way to push my product out. She was very nice in giving me this opportunity, as well as with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think always asking for help.
Yeah.
Like, it's people are there to help you.
Yeah, not being afraid to put yourself out there like that, like you don't have all the answers all the time, and everybody needs a helping hand along the way. So yeah, for sure, that's really cool. Again, that's Israel Ramirez. He's a Central Illinois CEO student on the Zoom with us today with Mrs. Cheryl Warner, superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham schools. I know you've got trade show coming up in late April, May-ish. What's trade show date, Israel?
Trade show is May 6th. It'll be at the Hickory Point Mall.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check on that time.
Sure. Are you going to have some of your product out and those sorts of things? Will folks be able to kind of check out what you've got available?
Yeah, so we'll have trade show will be May 6th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Hickory Point Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're gonna have some product there with some bags as well. We are hoping to have our two main designs right now. We'll have a couple of options on sizes varying there to be able to sell.
Cool. Nice. That's cool. That's really neat. That's really neat. Are you having to partner with someone to make these shirts, or like do you have the equipment yourself to do this? What's that look like for you, Israel?
It's done through a print on demand. So I come up with designs, and then I submit it. I find the shirt material, with all different materials, how they feel, cotton, polyester, find which one I like the best, and then put it on there. And then whenever something sells, they'll print it for me.
Cool. Nice. Now, you mentioned you're a junior, right?
Yeah.
So are you gonna stick with this into next year? I know like you won't be in the CEO program, but are you gonna try to continue this on, or what do you envision for what's next after trade show?
I hope to. Obviously it depends how sales go, if it's sustainable or not. But even then, I think I'd still like to keep posting on Instagram, trying to build something there.
Mm-hmm.
Just whatever I get to still, try to spread the word as much as possible.
Sure. And I wonder, Israel, your experience just in CEO in general. You mentioned as a junior, what has your experience in CEO been like? Have you enjoyed it?
It's been amazing. I think from CEO, I think the main thing I learned is staying curious. So much I think of school is just like you get told what to do, and you just do it, and you don't ever think about why you do something. But CEO has taught me there's so much out there to learn. You just have to ask, because there's we've gone from farming businesses all the way to corporate America at ADM, and I mean, there's so much to learn. You just have to ask. You just have to be willing to learn and look out there and search for the answers.
Yeah, and I'm curious, have your horizons broadened with this experience? I mean, one of the things that kids in the past have talked about was I had no idea all this opportunity was in our backyard. Speak to that from your perspective.
Yeah, so going into CEO, I was very linear on what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an electrical engineer when I first got in. And while that's still some of what I want to do, I've also been, I've been very intrigued with the world of business, with all the stuff you can do. I've talked with people about what I would need to do to get a business degree and go to jobs I know ADM, they have a huge corporate stuff you can do there. So I'd like to to that. It's definitely broadened my horizons to like what I can do. It's not so limited anymore.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure. Nice. CEO in general, is there one lesson you've taken away that will stick with you for the rest of your life?
Like I said earlier, just staying curious, just making sure I go out there and try to put myself out there as much as possible. I like I don't know where I heard it from, but it's a quote. It says, nothing grows in the shade of a tree.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to push as much out there as I can, try to keep pushing my comfortability level.
Mm-hmm. Word. That's cool. That's cool. What site visit did you enjoy the most this year?
I really loved Bear. It was one of our earlier ones in the year, but it was just one, they process so much corn and stuff. But another thing that I just kind of look at their logistics and kind of like business field, they don't own most of the stuff they have because for insurance reasons, they kind of just contract all like the farming work out. So they only own the plant. I thought that was super interesting. And that's kind of where my mind started going to, like, there's so much more in business you can do.
Definitely. Very nice. Well, Israel, let's wrap up with one more time, a little bit about your business and how folks find it.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, it is a Christian-based clothing brand with graphic designs, t-shirts, and sweatshirts. And you can find us right now on Instagram and Facebook at Forerunner Christian Clothing.
Very nice. Israel, it was good to talk to you, my friend. Thanks for making time for us, and enjoy your spring break, and best of luck with your business.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Very good. Again, Israel Ramirez is with the Central Illinois CEO program, our guest on the Zoom here for this morning. And Mrs. Warner, I'll tell you what, we'll break and come back and talk with you next. Again, that's Cheryl Warner. She's the superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools, our guest on the Zoom here for this morning. More to come on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Agriculture.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn lower, beans steady, wheat trading lower. May corn down 6 1/4, 459 1/4. July corn down 5 1/2, 470 1/2. December new crop 486 down 4 3/4. May beans down 2 3/4, 1158 1/2. July beans down 2 1/4, 1174 1/4. November new crop 1140 3/4 down 1/4. May Chicago wheat 584 3/4 down 10 1/2. May KC wheat 597 3/4 down 8 1/2. May bean meal 325.30 down 270. May bean oil 64.45 down $1.06. Livestock trade March feeders 358.50 up 75 cents. April live cattle up 35 cents 234.40. April lean hogs 91.75 up 47 cents. Energy market, June Brent crude oil 96.46 down 9.95. RFD Radio.
When it comes to finding primary care, you can be seen at any doctor's office, but at Memorial Care, you're not just seen, you're heard. Our primary care team takes the time to listen to you, building a lasting relationship based on transparency and trust. So when you notice a change in your health, you've got a team that's ready to advocate for what you need. Memorial Care. Real care, real connections. Learn more at memorial.health/primary care.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest on the Zoom today is Mrs. Cheryl Warner, superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools. And Mrs. Warner, to revisit a conversation you and I had back at start of school year, maybe summertime-ish. I know you were working with, if I'm not mistaken, Tony Kirkman at the Piatt County Mental Health Center, or at least I heard about this book through him, The Anxious Generation. I know this is one that is really kind of taking people that work with youth by storm, just because of the anxiety, depression, things of that nature that are starting to crop up in our kids. Remind us this initiative. What were you doing with this?
Right. So I facilitated a book study in the fall. We wrapped this up just a little bit before Christmas. Had a group of about 25 teachers across the district, which were elementary, middle level, and high school, along with some teaching assistants and other support staff. It was open to everyone, and a handful of administrators as well. And yes, it was based on The Anxious Generation that was written by the work of Jonathan Haidt. And it's very eye-opening. I don't think that there's anything that we didn't know. But when you see it all together in a very well-researched format, it just led to some very insightful conversations. And not only for teachers, but as parents, and how we can kind of work together as a team to change some of what we're seeing in our younger students, as we've kind of shifted from what we would consider a play-based generation to a phone-based generation, which is the overarching theme of the book. What are we seeing in our students and our children on a daily basis because of this shift? Some of the statistics that are pretty shocking, and again, nothing new, but our average teenager spends about 9 hours on screens outside of school. That's a lot. When I think of myself as an adult, if I were to spend that amount of time on a screen outside of my workday, I think I would be not spending any quality time with my family, likely, right? We think
Right.
we think about how we compare that into our daily lives. Another statistic that's kind of shocking: when you take a typical middle schooler, they check their phone over 100 times a day. So
Wow.
that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I guess what are you taking away from this that you can, whether it's implement in school, whether it's how you can understand about the kids in your buildings, where does this come into practice and implementation for your staff in your district?
Right. So some of the good discussion pieces that we walked away with. Number one, we really wanted to share information from the book with others that weren't able to be part of the book study. Shorter, concise, just here's what you need to know, take it or leave it kind of thing. If this is an interest for you, we'll give you the avenue. So we are going to start publicizing small snippets of information to other staff and parents as well in relation to information for the book. But what we really talked about is how we would like to shift back to less technology during the school day. When I came in as a new superintendent, it was 2020. We were in the midst of the pandemic. The district very quickly shifted to a one-to-one initiative out of necessity, right? And then we didn't go backwards when that changed. And now we're able to kind of look and see, and we can have these in-depth discussions about how much access do our students actually need to a one-on-one device. And talking with teachers throughout this book study, they've very much said they're relying on less technology in the classroom than they needed 2 years ago. And really kind of, reevaluating how they utilize it, because they're seeing the negative effects of such a strong technology-based and phone-based generation that they're teaching and working with.
Right.
So our first step right now is to really hear more from the teachers. The principals and I this week are going to be working on some surveys that are going to be going out. They will look a little different based on whether you're elementary, middle, or high school, because we do understand the needs are going to be different for those students as well. But really finding out how dependent are the teachers in utilizing Chromebooks as an instructional tool. How often do the students truly need them, whether that be overnight, at home and during the school day. I think one of the big questions that we have as a district is, do we really need to send Chromebooks home every evening? Some of our early elementary students, we've actually heard from their parents and they've asked for assistance, like, hey, can my kiddo's Chromebook stay at school? It's easier at home. When my little one's Chromebook is at school, we can get behind that. And maybe we don't even need to be sending them home. But the thing that we do have to balance this with, Seth, is what about those students that don't have devices at home that for some reason need them, right? So this is going to spill over into surveys and getting information from our parents too. But really what we do want to be looking at overall is how can we have less screen time and more real life time, not only in the classroom, but during your quality time at home as well.
Yeah, totally.
So I think just kind of starting with some surveys, because we do want this to be very supported by the teachers and the parents. We don't want this to seem like, an administrative move just based on research. We really want to know how parents and teachers feel their kids need to utilize the Chromebooks, what's going to be most appropriate, and adjust as need be, which might mean we might see different things in different grade levels. When when you look at an elementary building, maybe only the 4th and 5th graders need to bring Chromebooks home, and maybe that's only once or twice a week. These could be small changes that I think could make big impact for our students, not only during the day, but for the quality time that parents have with them at home.
Sure.
And this is really not even talking about cell phones yet,
Mhm.
which is a whole different animal
Right,
in the technology world. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And I guess just kind of what are you noticing on the ground there in Warrensburg? I mean, do you have kids that are anxious, that have a hard time coping with say not struggle, but adversity, those sorts of things? What are you seeing
Right.
there?
We're definitely seeing an increase in anxiety and depression, and we do survey our students twice a year. We have for over 6 years. We always survey them in the fall, and we survey them again in the spring. Our counselors do a phenomenal job following up with all of these students. But generally, we have seen increased rates of anxiety and depression. We've also seen decreased rates of what we would consider productive face-to-face social skills, right? Problem solving is not as easy as it used to be. That interpersonal conflict, those skills and the practice that they have with that has decreased. You think about their friend group, and the most of the communication that they're doing is via cell phone instead of face-to-face. And so of course we're seeing a decline in how do you work through a problem, because conflict is life, right? It's not always bad, it's just part of life. I think we're also seeing the effects of disruption in sleep, because we have kids that are going to bed with, whether it's the cell phone or the Chromebook or
The
something,
video game. Yeah.
kind of on that automatic. You hear that ping, you feel that vibration, and you can't not look at the phone. So I think we see that as well. Honestly, I think about the amount of obstacles that our kids face with technology, and it amazes me how resilient they actually really are.
Yeah, interesting.
Because there is so much that is bombarding them at all times.
Sure.
And this also affects their attention span too, right?
Yep, absolutely. And I'm sure, Mrs. Warner, we could talk another 20 minutes about this. Unfortunately, I do have to let you go. How do folks follow along with all things Warrensburg-Latham schools?
Join our WL app through our website, and you can get all news and events through that.
Very good. Mrs. Warner, it's always good to see you. Thanks for making time for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Cheryl Warner, Superintendent of Warrensburg-Latham Schools, my guest on the Zoom. Network News comes your way next on the WHOW Morning Show.